Man, today's session hurt. Not in a bad way, but in a way that made me sort of think twice. I think I was pushing it a little bit, considering all the other training. It's been pretty hard this week, but this is the second to last week in the cycle, or the monthly cycle. So I've been slowly building up. So next week will be even heavier, but not too much heavier, and again, one less rep per set for the main lifts. But today I basically hit 80 kilos on the squat and the Romanian Deadlift. My body's pretty fried. I put an extra session in yesterday. So yesterday I did a double. It was football training in the morning and then running, sprinting in the afternoon. So I was pretty sore. And I can't remember the last time I had a day off. I think I had a day off 2 weeks ago, maybe. Because 2 weeks in a row, I've been doing Sunday gym, Monday boxing, Tuesday running, Wednesday gym, Thursday running, Friday boxing, Saturday running, and then starting again. Sunday gym, Monday boxing, Tuesday running, Wednesday gym, Thursday running, Friday boxing, Saturday running, Sunday gym. So 2.5 weeks I think I've been training every day now. But yeah, body is starting to feel it a little bit. I think I'm getting used to it, hopefully. But I just don't know when my next day off is going to be. We'll see how I go. I am putting a lot more effort into the recovery side of things, though. A lot more stretching, a lot more foam rolling. Did a little bit in between sets, as you're watching now, between the squats. And the squats, it builds up, even though, 3 weeks ago, I squatted 120. That was just for one set of 2 reps at the end of the working sets, and I was building each and every set. But when you have to do all 4 sets at the same weight, it can still take its toll if you've programmed it correctly and you've selected the right weight for the session. So I might get a bit of respite by doing only 3 reps with 85 next week. It's just 80 today, so I might find 85 for 3 a little bit easier. I might be not as taxed, I might not have spent as much energy, hopefully, throughout the workout, but we'll see. I definitely think that in the other sessions that I've been doing, the running and all of that, I might need to just take it a little bit easier, so I can have a bit of, balance. And you can't just go all the time. You got to balance things out, and if you're training a lot, you got to be putting just as much effort into your recovery. So I think probably we'll need to make some adjustments over the next week. Still getting some aches and pains here and there. Left patella tendon, right groin a little bit, left calf, right quad, everywhere basically. It's not like I'm feeling 100%, but you rarely are when you're training a lot. And the RDLs especially didn't feel great because my back was a little bit sore. I wore the lifting belt for all the working sets, and I did 2 warm-up sets for each for the squats and for the RDLs, 40 and 70 kilos. Actually, for the squats, I did 3 warm-up sets because I did the empty bar first of all. But I think I definitely needed to do that just to get into rhythm, get into the groove. And I don't really like using the lifting belt, especially for the lower weights, because I don't want to rely on it. But I think today I actually did need it. It was just one of those sessions where you rely on your discipline and your mental strength to get you through the session, because in terms of outright motivation, it wasn't one of those days where I was raring to go, full energy level, can't wait to get this session. It was more like, okay, I'm not feeling great. I know I have to do the session. Let's do it anyway. It was one of those. So I'm glad I got through it. It was it's these sessions, you look back on them as you're remembering and reflecting on the training you've done recently, and you're glad that you did them. You're glad that you did them, because had I not done the session today, yeah, okay, I may have felt okay tomorrow, but it's one, mentally setting not a habit, but it's planting a negative seed in my mind that it's okay if I get away with missing a session, because in my experience, all of the times where I thought, oh yeah, it's okay if I miss a session, it was never just one. And because you get to that point where you think, oh, well, I missed that session and I was okay. Now I'll miss this other session. Then I'll miss this other session. And eventually the sessions that you miss add up, just like the sessions that you do add up. Everything flows into everything else. And you would much rather look back on the previous month or so and say, yeah, I'm glad I did that session, rather than, oh, I shouldn't have skipped all those sessions. And at the end of the day, I'm conditioning my body to tolerate more load, more work. So the Nordics especially were a good indicator of me not feeling too great. You can see that I was going through them a bit quicker than I was last time. Last time I was feeling good. I had full control. The Nordics, I was able to hold the contraction lower down, closer to the floor. Today I thought, well, my hamstrings are fried. I've done a lot more sprinting this week. I've been running faster. I just thought, okay, change the stimulus a little bit. I'll fall a little bit quicker, and I'll try and contract eccentrically through that fall, through that lengthening, but I won't try and resist it that much to the point where I'll try and stop myself and try and, contract when my hamstring is already shot. It's already tired. So I just thought, let it fall, try and contract on the way down, get some exposure, but not pushing it too hard. The reverse Nordics, I was a little bit afraid of doing them because I had a little bit of pain in my left patella tendon probably the last 2 days. 2 days, yeah. And to be honest, it felt okay. I felt it more in the quad than I did in the tendon, which is exactly what I wanted, thankfully. Had I felt it in the tendon, I may not have actually completed the sets. I may have just stopped. But yeah, luckily it felt it in the quad. And you can see me here experimenting for the last set of the Nordics. Now, if you remember last week, I did one less set of everything. So with the Nordics, because they're a volume-based progression where I'm trying to add reps and sets from session to session, I cut the volume by a third. And going back up by a third is a very big increase. So for the last set, instead of doing 3 sets of 4, I did 2 sets of 4, and the last set was just 2 reps. You can see me experimenting with the weight plate on the ground, and I think it did feel a little bit better, just to get the angle of the knee a little bit longer, and I reckon I might do that from now on, because the longer muscle lengths are the ones that we want to strengthen, and the ones that will have bigger payoff towards that end range of the Nordic, and also for when in the sprinting motion, when your foot strikes the ground, the knee angle and the hamstring muscle length, you want to be able to contract at that range, the end range. So it's not fully straight, obviously, when you strike the ground, but it's a little bit bent. But you got to have some. It's called stiffness. Your resistance to the force of impact and hitting the ground, and it's a combination of tendon stiffness as well as muscular strength. But yeah, that's why I put the weight plate on the ground for the Nordics. And the rollouts and side lunges felt okay. I think in the Nordics, the hamstring Nordics where I was falling forward, one of the reps I did feel a little bit of a pull. Not something bad, just a little bit of like a contraction when it shouldn't have been contracting of my right adductor. And I was thinking, okay, well, clearly my hamstrings are shot. My right adductor has had to kick in, and the adductors can provide assistance with extending the hip and flexing the hip, depending on the position, the action, the movement. And I think the adductor kicked in to help with keeping my hips extended, because my hamstrings must have just been so tired. Now, it wasn't pain, but I just felt it and I thought, okay, well, I'm clearly not 100% here. And again, with the side lunges, you can see me leaning forward. And the reason that I was doing this was I wanted to basically try and sit my hips back and get all my weight into my hips and back and down, diagonally back from the foot that is extending. So the knee that is straightening, if I'm side lunging to my right, the left knee is getting straighter, but I want to keep the weight of my body going backwards, so that more of the stress gets placed on that straightening leg than on the side that I'm lunging down towards. I want to put emphasis on the straightening leg because I want to get some contraction and some resistance to the adductors at that long muscle length where the leg is out to the side. The knee that's bending and the hip that's flexing, the side that I'm sitting into, is not the exact same stimulus for the adductors that I want out of this exercise, because that's more of like I'm basically squatting into that side. I don't really want a squat style stimulus from this exercise. I want to get the adductor on the leg that's straightening out. So the side lunge is a little bit, of not really an experiment, but I'm just trying to target a very specific area by doing it, and honestly it works. I think definitely got to add some more stretching and foam rolling every day to get on top of the soreness, but yeah, it was a tough session, worthwhile though, and I'm glad I did it. And thanks for watching. If you made it this far, I hope you got some value out of it. Like, subscribe if you haven't, and I'll catch you in the next one.